Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on engineering thermodynamics. In our previous lecture, we have completed the introduction part and basic concepts. So we will quickly go through what we have done in our previous lectures. So first of all, we defined thermodynamics, applications, then the syllabus, these are reference books. Then we studied about thermodynamic systems, definition of surroundings, system boundary, universe, types of the system, closed system, open system, and isolated system. Then we compared quantity of matter versus region of space. Then microscopic versus microscopic viewpoint. Then the definition of thermodynamic properties. Other definitions like definite state, change of state, path of change of state. Then two types of properties, intensive properties which are independent of mass and extensive properties which are dependent of mass. Then homogeneous and heterogeneous systems. Then about thermodynamic equilibrium, it is of three types: mechanical equilibrium, chemical and thermal equilibrium. And one by one we studied them separately. And we also studied about non-equilibrium states. Then quasi-static processes, which is infinite slow process in which we are getting intermediate equilibrium states. Then we studied about concept of continuum. Zeroth law of thermodynamics, which is our first law of thermodynamics actually, which is in number, it is our first law which we are studying, which is actually zeroth law of thermodynamics, in which when body A is in thermal equilibrium with body B and also separately with body C, then body B and C will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. Then we studied about temperature scale. And we studied about two methods. First method which was used before 1954 and second method which is used after 1954. So this was end of our introduction and basic concepts, and we have studied this in our two separate videos. Now we will move forward from this and we will enter into first law of thermodynamics. So let's begin with our next chapter, which is work and heat transfer. Today we are not going to discuss about first law of thermodynamics, but before that we are studying work transfer and heat transfer, which are necessary to understand before we get into the first law of thermodynamics. First we will discuss about work transfer and then we will discuss about heat transfer. So work is said to be done by a system if the sole effect on things external to the system can be reduced to raising of a weight. So this statement looks complicated, but we will try to understand this with the help of a figure. Weight may not be actually raised, but the net effect external to the system would be equivalent to raising of a weight. So now here we are going to take two different cases. First of all, we will focus on this part, that is figure 3.1, in which this dotted line, inside this dotted line, dotted box, we are having the system and outside it is the surrounding. So here in our system we are having a battery, and with the help of this battery we are running a motor which is subsequently rotating a fan. So here through this battery and via this motor we are running a fan which is outside the system, or it is inside, it is in the surroundings. Okay, so we need to check whether here work is done by the system or not. So if we repeat the statement that work is said to be done by a system if the sole effect on things external to the system can be reduced to raising of a weight. So here fan is rotating, okay, it is in this surrounding. So if we can replace the effect of fan with raising of a weight, then this system is working on the surrounding. That is the meaning of this. So here in the second figure, if you see, the second figure, here battery is as it is, the motor is also as it is. However, instead of using this motor to run this fan, we have connected a pulley with it, and with the help of motor we can raise this weight. So we have simply replaced the fan with a pulley and weight, and if we utilize this battery and motor we can raise this weight. Okay, so here whatever the effects of fan were there, this can be replaced with the help of raising of a weight, with the help of a pulley. So here now if you read this statement that work is said to be done by a system if the only effect on the things external to the system, here things external to the system, meaning of this is nothing but surrounding. Okay, so this is things external to the system is nothing but surrounding, and meaning of sole is sole effect is only effect. Okay, so this is the only effect. So work is said to be done by a system if the sole effect external to the system, that is surrounding, can be reduced to raising of weight. So in our example we have replaced this fan effects with a pulley and weight. Now further continuing on work transfer, here two things are there. First, when work is done by a system, it is arbitrarily taken to be positive, and when the work is done on the system, it is taken to be negative. And the symbol W is used for work transfer. So this statement will remain fixed for our entire thermodynamic course, that this sign convention, that if a work is done by the system on the surrounding. So here, if you see this arrow, then it is from the system to the surrounding. So this work will be considered as positive. While here, if you see, work is done on the system, that's why it is negative. So this will remain same throughout our course. And unit of work is Newton into meter or joule. Now from where this is coming? If you recall our basic physics, F multiplied by D is actually W. So force into displacement gives us the work done. So based on that, the unit of work is Newton into meter or joule. And if you recall, again, the rate at which the work is done by or upon the system is known as power. So P is equal to W divided by T. That is, the rate at which the work is done by or upon the system is known as power. And obviously the unit of power is, here if you see, for work done we are using joule, divided by, for time we are using second. So joule per second is the unit of power, and or it can be also written as watt. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about a very important topic, which is PdV work or displacement work. So here we are having a piston cylinder arrangement. If you focus carefully, here this is our cylinder, and here we are having a piston. Okay. So there are two different states. The initial state is designated with 0.1 and the final state is designated with 0.2. So as you can see, in our first condition, the pressure and volume of gas is P1 and V1 respectively, and as you can see, that 2 is the final condition, and the value of pressure and volume at state 2 is P2 and V2. Okay, so this is the gas system, and here as you can see there is a displacement which is happening. So here let the gas in the cylinder be a system. So gas will be our system in this example, having initial pressure P1 and volume V1. The system is in thermodynamic equilibrium, the state of which is described by coordinates P1 and V1. So here this is our initial state. The piston is the only boundary which moves due to the gas pressure. So here this will be the only boundary which will be moving due to the pressure of gas. Let the piston move out to a new final position 2, which is also a thermodynamic state specified by pressure P2 and volume V2. So this is our final condition, P2 and V2. Now here, when a piston moves an infinitesimal distance dl, if A be the area of the piston, then force acting on the piston So I will try to explain you this. Let us say that piston moves an infinitesimal distance dl. So let us say that it is moving through a distance, very small distance. This is, let us say this distance is dl, and let small a be the area of piston. So here let us say that if we see the cross sectional area which is visible from this side or the rear side, this area or this area, so the piston will look like this. Let us say we are discussing about this area. This area is A. So the force which is acting on the piston is given by P into A. So F is equal to P into A, and from where it is coming? Because P is actually F divided by A. Okay, so here the infinitesimal amount of work done by a gas on the piston is given by dW, which is equal to F into dl, because work done is equal to force into displacement, and instead of F we have put P into A, that is this formula. Instead of F we are putting P into A, and dl is as it is. So instead of A into dl, if you see carefully, if we combine A into dl, then this is the displaced volume. So if this is traveling through a distance of dl, then A into dl will be the volume. Here, where dV is equal to A into dl, which is infinitesimal displacement volume. When the piston moves out from position 1 to position 2 with volume changing from V1 to V2, the amount of work done is given by this formula. So here we have done nothing but integration. The formula was dW is equal to P into dV. So if we integrate this, then W122 is equal to integration V1 from V1 to V2 P into dV. Now we are going to focus on this figure, which is very important to understand. So let us recall that we were at initial position of 1. This is our initial position 1 and this is our final position 2. Okay, and at initial, this is PV diagram, so at point 1 we are having pressure 1 P1 and the volume is V1. At state 2 we are having value of pressure as P2 and volume as V2. So let us say that these are the intermediate points or states. So once we join them, we get the path of the process, that is this. Okay, and all these intermediate states are equilibrium states. That's why the entire process is quasi-static process. Here we are assuming that the expansion process which is happening is infinitely slow, so that we are able to capture all these intermediate states. Now the magnitude of work done is given by area under path 1 to 2 as shown in the figure. Since P, that is pressure, is at all times the thermodynamic coordinates, since P, that is pressure, is at all time a thermodynamic coordinate, all the states passed through by a system as the volume changes from V1 to V2 must be equilibrium states. That's why path 1 to 2 must be quasi-static. The piston here moves infinitely slowly so that every state passed through is an equilibrium state. The integral given in previous formula can be performed only on a quasi-static process. So we are currently discussing about W is equal to integration V1 to V2 P into dV. Okay, so this formula is only applicable in the case of quasi-static process. So now we are going to study about a very important topic in thermodynamics, which is path function and point function. So we need to focus on this figure. it is possible to take system from state 1 to state 2 along many quasi-static paths. So in our figure of piston cylinder arrangement, we were having point state 1 and state 2, that is initial state is this, point number 1, and final state is this. So we can join these two states by three different paths or any other path, let us say namely A, B and C. So if you see, okay, we will compare this in a paint. So here we have taken three different figures, and let us say that we need to compare the amount of work done. So in first case, let us say we are taking path A, then the area under path A is this. Then if we consider path B in this case, then the area under path B is given by this shaded area. And in case of figure 3, here if we draw the area under this curve, then the area will be this. And if you recall, the formula is W is equal to integration P into dV. So P into dV is nothing but the area under the curve. So the area is different in all three cases. That is, the work done is different in all three cases. So here the path is very important parameter. The path is very important parameter when we are calculating work done. So the meaning is that the work done does not only depend on states, it's also depend on the path through which we are going from state 1 to state 2. So we are back into presentation now. So here, since the area under each curve represents the work done for each processes, the amount of work involved in each case is not a function of end states of the process, but it also depends on the path of the system follows in going from state 1 to state 2. So that we have already studied with 3 different figures. For this reason, work is called a path function and dW is an inexact or imperfect differential. If you see carefully, in the symbol of dW, D is put a dash over here, and this dash should be slightly above on this letter. So this is called as D cut W. That indicates inexact or imperfect differential. And so one thing that we have proved here, that work is actually a path function. It does not only depend on the states, but it also depends on the path which we are following. The thermodynamic properties are point functions, since for a given state there is a definite value of each property. So the meaning is here that, let us say here we are having the value as P1, V1, and here the values are P2 and V2. So these values does not depend on this path. That's why pressure, volume or temperature, that is thermodynamic properties, are point functions, and they do not depend on the path of the process. The change in the thermodynamic property, the change in a thermodynamic property of a system is independent of path of the system which it follows during the change of state, and it only depends on the initial and final state of the system. So what is the meaning of this? Let us say we need to calculate the change in the thermodynamic property. That is, let us say we write down for pressure, then the change is P2 minus P1, and here volume, which is V2 minus V1. So if you see, then this change in thermodynamic property does not depend on the path. It only depends on the point 1 and point 2. So that is the meaning of this entire statement. The differentials of a point function are exact differentials, which are given by one example here, that integration of dV from V1 to V2 is given by V2 minus V1. That is the exact differential due to point function. Now we are going to study about various quasi-static processes and related PdV work, that is displacement work. First we are going to study about a constant pressure process. So let us focus on this figure. Here if you see, we are going from point number 1, that is this, to point number 2. So here P is constant, okay, and the value which is getting changed is V1 to V2. So the fundamental behind all these theories will be W is equal to integration V1 to V2 P dV. So we are only going to follow this formula throughout our theories. So here W122 is given by the same formula that is written over here, and as P is constant, we can take P outside, and integration of V1 to V2 dV is given by this. Let me remind you, the formula which was there on our previous slide is integration V1 to V2 dV is equal to V2 minus V1, and the same answer is coming over here because it is a point function and the differential is exact. Constant volume process. So this is a different kind of process, and you can understand this graph very well, that here initially the pressure is P1 and volume is remaining constant, as you can see here. And the final pressure is P2. So here V is remaining constant. Here W122 is equal to integration P dV. However, dV is 0. Why dV is 0? Because when any term is constant, its differentiation is always 0. That's why in case of constant volume process, the displacement work is 0. So these are two basic properties. Now the third is isothermal process or constant temperature process. So this is the way it is going to work here, that constant pressure process is governed by this formula, PV equal to C. So let us say that this is our initial state 1 and this is our final state 2, then pressure is reducing and volume is increasing. So here the process is of this kind, that P is proportional to 1 divided by V. So one term will increase and second term will decrease. So here initial values are P1 V1 and final values are P2 V2, and the area under this curve, that is this highlighted area, is the displacement work W12. So here PV is equal to C, that is pressure into volume is equal to constant. Then we can also write down this formula in another way, that PV is equal to P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to C. Now we will go back to our standard formula of displacement work, that is W122 is equal to integration V1 to V2 P dV. Now instead of P, here instead of P it is replaced with C upon V. Now from where it is coming, if you take this formula and take P as a subject, then here P is equal to C divided by V. Okay, so the same thing is done over here, and C is constant, so C can be taken outside of the integration, and instead of C we can put either PV or P1 V1 or P2 V2. So C is taken out now, so we can put, instead of C we have put P1 V1, and in the integration we are having dV divided by V. So here W122 is given by P1 V1 ln V2 by V1. So it can also be written in this way. Now from where this is being replaced with this, we will see this, that the formula is P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. So if we take ratio of V2 by V1, then it will be equal to P1 by P2. So here we are having V2 by V1. So instead of V2 by V1 we can put P1 by P2. Okay, so this is the derivation of work done in case of isothermal process. So getting back onto this theory, the fourth type of process is polytropic process. Here this curve is slightly complicated, but we will try to understand this. Here this curve is general curve for PV raised to n equal to constant, where n can vary with different values. That is n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to infinity. So here let us say that n is equal to 0. Then it will tell us that P V raised to 0 equal to C, implies that P is equal to C. That is, this is a constant pressure process, which is shown here with a horizontal line that we have already studied. Now let us say we take another example of n is equal to infinity, implies that P V raised to infinity equal to constant. So here V infinity is equal to C upon P. So this will result in V equal to constant. So this is nothing but a constant volume process, that is this process. Then let us say that we take n is equal to 1. Then PV equal to C. So this will be our isothermal process that we have already studied. That is this curve. And we can also take for n equal to 2, that will result in PV square equal to constant, then PV cube equal to constant, and in that way it will continue. So we are trying to go for a generalized process which can describe every type of process. So here we are beginning the derivation of work done in this case. So first of all, PV raised to n equal to P1 V1. So our standard formula for this is PV raised to n is equal to C. So PV raised to n is equal to P1 V1 raised to n, P2 V2 raised to n is equal to C. Then P can be, if we take this formula along with this, then we can write down P as is equal to P1 V1 raised to n divided by V raised to n. Then W122 is equal to integration V1 to V2 P dV, which is equal to V1 to V2. Instead of P we have written this value, that is here, and dV. So P1 V1 is already constant values, that is of state 1, so they can be taken outside, and here we have done the integration. So integration is done of what? Integration is done for integration V raised to minus n dV. The constant terms are here outside this integration. So once you integrate this, you will obtain this formula. Okay. Then we will put the limits, that is V2 and V1. So once you put these limits, you will obtain this formula. This n 1 minus n will go into denominator. P1 V1 raised to n is as it is, and instead of this, here we are having first V2 raised to 1 minus n and minus V1 1 minus n. So then we have multiplied it inside, and we will be obtaining this. Let me tell you one more important thing here. Here we need to focus from this to this. Now, as you know that instead of P1 V1 raised to n, we can put P2 V2 raised to n as well as PV raised to n. So what we have done here, you need to focus here that W122 equal to, once we multiply this, P1 V1 raised to n, V2 raised to 1 minus n, minus P1 V1 raised to n, V1 1 minus n divided by 1 minus n. So here we are having V2, if you see. Here we are having V2 raised to 1 minus n, and here we are having V1. So what we have done here, that instead of P1 V1 raised to n, what we are going to do here is, instead of P1 V1 raised to n, we will put P2 V2 raised to n V2 raised to 1 minus n minus P1 V1 raised to n V1 raised to 1 minus n divided by 1 minus n is equal to W122. So then if you solve, okay, we have already arrived up to this equation. If you see carefully, both these equations are same. Okay. So we have arrived up to this, and once we simplify it, then we will be obtaining this formula. I suggest you to try this by yourself. And replacing a number n with a ratio of specific hits gamma, then we will be obtaining this formula. We will be discussing about this gamma in detail in our next lecture, which is first law of thermodynamics. Otherwise, the formula is as it is with replacement of n with gamma. So this is about polytropic process. Now the next theory is other type of work transfer. There are electrical work, shaft work, pedal work or stirring work, flow work, work done in stretching wire, and work done in changing area of a surface film, and magnetization of a paramagnetic solid. And today we are going to discuss about flow work. So the flow work, what is flow work? Flow work which is significant only in flow processes or an open system. If you recall, the meaning of open system is the system in which energy as well as mass can transfer the system boundary, cross the system boundary. So in a flow process or an open system represents the energy transferred across the system boundary as a result of energy imparted to the fluid by a pump, blower or compressor to make the fluid flow across the control volume. So this definition looks slightly complicated, but we will understand this with the help of a figure. So here if you see in this figure, this is an open system in which here mass is entering the system and here the mass is exiting the system. So here let us say that m1 mass is entering and it is shifting this imaginary piston. We are assuming this to be an imaginary piston and it is traveling through a volume dV. The boundary is fixed. At location 1 we are having pressure P1, V1 and A1 values, and here P2, V2 and A2 values. Here A1 and A2 represents the area at location 1 and 2. So here let P, small p, be the fluid pressure in the plane of imaginary piston. So here let us say that this is the pressure P which is acting while transferring this mass, and it acts in the direction normal to it, and this pressure acts in the direction normal to it. So the work done on this imaginary piston is given by this formula. That is, the flow work is pressure into dV, as it is similar to displacement work. The volume dV is the volume of fluid element about to enter the system. Now here I will write down this formula again for you. our original formula is d cut W flow is equal to P into dV. However, let us say that V, small v is specific volume. Specific volume, okay. So specific volume V is defined as the total volume V divided by small mass, this mass dm. So instead of this dV, we can write down V into dm, and the same thing is written over here. That where d capital V is equal to small v into dm, where dm is the small mass which is entering the system. Therefore, the flow work at inlet, is given by, this is our general formula. This is our general formula. dW flow is P dVm. So flow work at inlet is given by d cut W flow in is equal to the initial values, that is P1 V1 dm1, and here similarly the flow work at outlet is given by dW flow out, which is given by P2 V2 dm2. So now if we need to calculate the flow work per unit mass, so what is the meaning of unit mass? That the mass will be taken into the denominator on the left hand side. So dW flow is given by P into V. Okay. Now it is the displacement work at the moving system boundary. So this is all about the flow work. Now we will end this lecture up to this point only, and we will continue heat transfer in our next lecture. So we will quickly revise what we have done in our today's lecture. So our topic is work and heat transfer. We started with work transfer. That work is said to be done by the system if the only effect on surrounding is to raise the weight. Then work done by the system is considered positive and work done on the system is considered as negative. The unit of work is Newton into meter or joule. Then we studied about PdV work, and we derived that PdV work is integration V1 to V2 P into dV. Then we went through path function and point function, respectively inexact differential and exact differentials. Then we studied about various quasi-static processes, constant pressure process, constant volume process. Third is constant temperature process or isothermal process. We derived the work done formula in detail for it. We studied about polytropic process, which is generalized form of all processes. Then we listed the other types of work transfer: electrical work, shaft work, pedal work, flow work, work done in stretching wire, work done in changing the area of surface film, and magnetization. And the last topic that we studied is flow work, which is analogous to displacement work. Here the mass change is also considered, and the final equation that we derived is here. The final equation for this theory is this: d cut W flow is PVdm, and the flow work per unit mass is dW flow is equal to PV. So this is the displacement work done at the moving system boundary. So we are ending this lecture here only. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.